And now here we are within 2.5% of a record high. Very good chance gold will make a new all-time record high in dollars next week. At some point, people are going to realize that you can't get your money back. If Bitcoin crashes, there is no money because MicroStrategy spent it on Bitcoin, and now Bitcoin has crashed.
Gold at record highs, Bitcoin surging, and a shocking new proposal that could flip everything we know about sound money on its head. A bill to sell off U.S. gold reserves to fund a Bitcoin reserve? It's not just reckless, it's treasonous. What does this mean for gold, Bitcoin, and your financial future? Peter Schiff breaks it all down, from a potential record gold rally to the government's role in the crypto surge. Stay tuned because you won't believe what's coming next.
There was no media coverage at all of this negative news story. That's why I didn't even hear about it. And then I tried to do more research. I actually found the government report from the BLS that is online, but I didn't find any articles that really linked to it. But they're going to come out with these official revisions. Maybe they're going to do that next week. I'm not really sure. But they indicated that this is coming. Now, I mentioned that gold had a good week, was up almost 4%. Gold stocks were up a little bit over 4%. But considering how much they crashed, that was a very subdued move. In fact, the GDXJ on Friday was actually negative. Gold was up like $45 on Friday. That's a very strong day. And the GDXJ, which is, the smaller gold stocks, although it's not, it's supposed to be juniors, but it doesn't really have the real juniors. But, it has some, mid-tier companies that are smaller than the large cap of the GDX. But it was negative on the day. It should have been way up. In fact, I mentioned that gold itself is only about 2.5% below its record high. Yet the GDX is 13.5% below its high from a couple of weeks ago. And the GDXJ is 14.5%. Both of these indexes went into bear markets. They were both down more than 20% in about a week and a half based on the 8% decline in the price of gold. I mean, completely ridiculous. Every market, look at the euphoria. The stock market keeps going up. Positive week for stocks this week. All the indexes, solid gains for Bitcoin. Wild, euphoria there. It's like the only sector of the market where people aren't excited is in the gold sector, right? That's the only place you have fear. Every place else you have greed. Because a bear market in a bull market, when gold is that close to its high, and now here we are within 2.5% of a record high. Very good chance gold will make a new all-time record high in dollars next week. If not next week, maybe the following week. Yet these gold stocks have a long way to go now to recover, not just from a correction, but they had an entire bear market. That's how worried. That's how much fear there is in this market. There's no confidence in it, which is one of the reasons that you should be so confident. Where other people are fearful, that's where you can be brave. And when other people throw caution to the wind, like in the overall market or like in Bitcoin, that's where you need to be fearful. Anyway, a significant news story that came out, I think, yesterday on the market was the president's pick for the new Treasury Secretary. This a very successful macro hedge fund manager, Scott Bessent, is going to be the new Treasury Secretary. It was pretty well rumored. I've known for a while that he was a favorite, but I think last minute people were talking about Howard Ludnick, although I think he's now going to be the Commerce Secretary. But the president is putting together, this very pro Bitcoin cabinet. That's one of the reasons that Bitcoin is so strong, is because there's so many people that have been positive on Bitcoin that are now going to be, in the government. And they're also, of course, they're in the Senate, they're in the House. Bitcoin money has been spread around. The crypto community, I think, was the largest donors in this last cycle, right? They're given more probably than defense, the pharmaceutical industry, the crypto industry, and now they expect to be paid back, right, for their investment in these candidates. I mean, this is the problem with democracy is you have stuff like this. And now that, they want to get paid back. That the agenda of the crypto crowd is the formation of a Bitcoin reserve. In fact, Senator Loomis's new bill actually calls for the funding of that by selling gold. So she's introducing a bill that would require the U.S. government to sell off its gold and then use the money to buy Bitcoin. I mean, it's almost treason. In fact, it probably is treason as far as I'm concerned to do something like that. But it's being done as payback in exchange for the campaign donations. That's obviously what's going on. And of course, if they do that, I mean, it's great for the people who own Bitcoin, who can sell their Bitcoin to the unwilling U.S. taxpayer who is being forced to buy Bitcoin, at gunpoint. Because that's, it's the coercive power of the state, which is, the ultimate irony, right? Because Bitcoin was supposed to be anti-government. It was, it was a way to circumvent government, to get out of fiat currencies. This is a decentralized thing. It's away from government. It's voluntary. It's the free market. But its salvation now is the government. It's the government buying Bitcoin that now everybody is counting on to make the price go up. It's not the free market. It's not that people are adopting it because it's winning in the market and that it's a better money or, whatever it is. No, it's because the government is going to be doing it, right? And so when the government does it, it's not because it's a sound decision. The government is doing it to reward the people who already own Bitcoin and who supported the campaign and voted for the candidates. And so you have the coercive power of the state that's now behind Bitcoin. So it's the opposite of everything that it was supposed to represent. But it would be a huge windfall for people who own Bitcoin. I mean, they can sell it to the government. They have a huge exit strategy. The U.S. government and therefore the U.S. taxpayer end up as the bag holders of Bitcoin. This would be a very inflationary program if it was passed, if there was a Bitcoin reserve, especially if they funded it by selling gold, because who would buy the gold? Well, the Chinese, right? All the foreign central banks would snap up all the gold that we were dumb enough to sell. And then what are we going to do with the money we get from selling our gold? We're going to buy Bitcoin. And then what are the people who sell their Bitcoin to the government going to do with the money they get? Well, they're going to spend it, right? So it's all this extra demand, right? All these Bitcoin millionaires and billionaires are going to be out spending their windfall, driving up prices for everybody else. And so ultimately, if the government does this, it's good for gold because it means a weaker U.S. economy. It means more inflation. And it means the U.S. government is in a worse financial position because instead of having gold reserves, it has Bitcoin reserves, which it can't do anything with. Because if it tries to sell them to defend the dollar, it crashes Bitcoin, and there go the reserves. But again, the other thing that's even worse, maybe, than the price of Bitcoin going up because the government's going to buy it, is the crypto industry, all the money that's being wasted. Look, a MicroStrategy also completed on the week another round. They just sold another $3 billion of convertible notes with a 0% coupon. I think the maturity is something like 4 years. But why would you loan MicroStrategy money for 4 years at 0%? Well, again, people are deluding themselves. They think they're getting a free roll on Bitcoin. And the strike price to exercise was about 50% above, or 55%, I think to be exact, above the price that MicroStrategy stock was trading at. But they don't care because the idea is if Bitcoin goes up, MicroStrategy is going to go up even more. I mean, it's already trading for 3 times the value of its Bitcoin, although it did have a big reversal day on Thursday. The stock made a new record high and then got clobbered. And so, and on Thursday, it took out the high and the low from Wednesday. So it is a potential one-day reversal, but it wasn't a reversal on the week. I mean, MicroStrategy still closed positive on the week. And so it's maybe premature to say that this insanity is come to an end, but we'll have to watch it. But what the people who are buying these convertible notes think is that, well, as long as Bitcoin goes up, MicroStrategy is going to go way up, and I'm going to make a killing on these convertible notes because I just convert and I can sell out and make a profit. But worst case scenario, Bitcoin goes down, MicroStrategy collapses. I just get my money back, right? Because I just asked for my money, because it's the option of the investor. You can either convert to stock or get your money back. At some point, people are going to realize that you can't get your money back. If Bitcoin crashes, there is no money, because MicroStrategy spent it on Bitcoin, and now Bitcoin has crashed. How's it going to get the money? Sell Bitcoin? It'll crash even more. So this is going to end badly. But the point that I'm making is capital that is going into MicroStrategy, where should it have gone? Right? When the government is misdirecting, like that Mara, another company came out. They just bought a bunch more Bitcoin. The same terms, 0% coupon on preferred. But if capital is going into these ridiculous money-losing businesses that are just gambling on Bitcoin, where is it coming out of? We don't have an unlimited supply of investment capital, right? And so any capital that is directed to Bitcoin, blockchain, crypto is capital that can't go someplace else. It can't go someplace where it's actually needed to produce real goods, real things. Instead, it's being squandered. And so this is doing tremendous damage to the country. The bigger this Bitcoin bubble gets, and the more of our resources are misdirected at chasing it.
Gold is nearing record highs. Bitcoin is courting government power, and markets are shifting faster than ever. Are you prepared for what's next? When fear dominates one market and greed consumes another, the truth lies in understanding the bigger picture. Make sure you're on the right side of history. For more insights and analysis, like this video, subscribe now and press the bell icon. Don't let the noise drown out the signal. The next big move could be just around the corner. Thank you.